Ah.
Okay, we're live, and since we put the announcement out today, we're going to wait just a couple seconds to see if people join in.
Wonderful.
Meanwhile, Mary can make faces at you all.
We are sure Jackie will appreciate
I
it.
was good. I got a heart from somebody right off the bat.
Wonderful. Hello, hello, hello.
People are starting to join in, so.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, then we will just go forward, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Adjust the camera angle here a little bit.
Maybe we will adjust our angle, yes?
Ooh, yes. Scarlett from Salzburg is on.
Ah, hello, Scarlett.
How about that?
Wonderful. So today, we were with you just recently, and we talked about one of the trilogy tools in creation, yes? And that is based on me. And that is very differing than practice in your world of all about me, yes? And instead it is allowing yourself to move with the truth of something that is occurring in a situation, or with something that has occurred before or is happening or may happen. Allowing you to move with the truth of what is moving internally with you as a result of that, what's happening, yes, inside of you. And then expanding that to then, based on me, all of who I am and all that I am connected into. Then from there, I will choose how I move. That is where my I comes in. I move with this in this way or that way. And letting yourself have inside out, based on me and who I am and all that I'm becoming. I. Yes, so that you can tap into so much more and you are no longer limited in your creating, yes? So, one of the other tools is evidence. And we're going to tell you a little story maybe about that, because what we noticed is that so often when we are speaking with friends, they would say to us, Mary, if I just had evidence, then I would have the confidence. Or if I just had evidence, then I would do it or take the risk, or if I just had evidence, then, yes? And we were always thinking, what are they talking about? What is this energy they're talking about? Because evidence wasn't matching, what is the energy of evidence wasn't matching what they were asking for, yes? So then we began to look and we said, well, of course, they are saying if I have proof, yes? That is very different than evidence, yes? Today we're going to talk about evidence, because evidence is occurring all of the time. It's continuous. It is part of the interaction that your physical and non-physical self is having with the physical and non-physical world. So all vibration is moving, signals are passing, you're creating, you need information continuously. One of the things we find that humans find most frustrating is if they don't feel like they have the evidence, the information they need to really make a decision or to know what direction to turn. So evidence is part of how, the whole moves with bringing you information all of the time. So evidence is anything that you have a response to. That's evidence for you. There's something going on. Not evidence like hard, evidence, like this is it. It is that there's something happening that you have a response to. The person next to you might not have even noticed it was occurring, yes? Or maybe they did and you didn't, yes? It isn't that the same evidence is for everybody. But your being is continuously moving and creating and thinking and determining and deciding and exploring and experiencing and curiousing and all of those things. And as it is moving in that creation, you're consistently and constantly sending out signals from this wondrous spherical being that you are in your multitaneous existence, yes? And sending out signals for what it is that you need so that you can understand your guidance system, yes? So evidence occurs. So we give a story about one time, some time ago now actually, Jackie was sitting in a busy place with a friend. And her friend was actually moving through a period in her life where she was wishing to move more from the inside out and not to be so triggered by things that go on outside of her, yes? And yet in the midst of this, another person came walking by in what we believe you call a huff, yes? And her friend got completely distracted from the conversation to the degree that the conversation that she was having with Jackie just completely stopped because she froze in all of these stories she started telling herself inside about what that other person might have been upset about. And then she started speaking it out loud as if Jackie was included in that conversation that was going on inside of her and saying, well, maybe she's upset because of this or that, and Jackie is, what are you talking about? Because she had not even noticed the person who walked by in the huff because it wasn't evidence for her. She didn't have any response to it. It was evidence for her friend. So you might say, well, what's that evidence about? So here's the thing about evidence. Humans get it confused, and this is exactly what happened with her friend, is that she had a response to something that happened in the room. And she immediately started trying to go out and climb into the thing that happened and figure out what it was about. Well, you can't because you're not that. Yes? If you choose to get up and go and say, hey, something just happened, can we have a conversation about it? Then you might get to know something about it. But when it starts in here, when it starts moving around in your being and you're guessing and you're guessing and you're guessing, the difficulty with that we see is that so often against energy comes into the picture. So then either you begin being against what happened outside of you that you had a response to if you didn't enjoy it or was something you didn't like, or you're against yourself for what happened outside of you. Well, in the course of about 2 seconds on your planet, Jackie's friend decided that she had done something wrong and that this friend was upset with her, this other friend. So she started churning, what can I do, what can I do? Well, you'll remember that we said her friend was going through a period of wishing to not be triggered so much and wishing to live from the inside out more. So this is where that tool of evidence is really powerful, because it's not about, the evidence isn't what happened. The evidence isn't about what's going on outside of you. It's about what you're informing yourself of in response to what's happening that you're noticing outside of you. And so in that instance, wow, what am I informing myself of? Well, I'm informing myself, for one, I'm still being triggered by things that are happening outside of me, yes? And then...
Karen's being triggered by Scott's foot.
Yes, the pooch in the house is wanting much attention, yes? So it is the evidence, when you're informing yourself, if Jackie's friend had stopped to say, okay, I'm having a strong response to what is going on, what just happened with that person. If I don't make it about what that person is doing, and I make it about myself, what might I be letting myself know? So then you can ask yourself questions instead of questioning yourself. And you can get into, well, I'm letting myself know, one, I'm still being triggered, and that I'd still like to be less triggered. And that I want to look at, have I been doing something that would cause, an adverse response in somebody that I know? And then actually ask yourself that question. It's why it's so important, though, to be in an honest and truthful relationship with yourself. Because then you might say, well, if I really looked, I could probably figure out why she might be upset. However, is that really maybe what's going on? So what we offer to you, that's one situation where she's looking, what am I informing myself of? That I'm getting triggered by something, I have no idea what it is. So I need to find out what it is, or I need to just have peace with myself in knowing what role I may or may not have played with it. And so you can choose if that interaction stays within your internal conversation or you open the conversation to others. So when you think about it, though, that evidence is anything you have a response to. This is a powerful way of creating. So what we will offer is, Jackie was sitting at her desk earlier today, and she noticed a hawk flying over the house. And she's seen hawks fly over the house before, and yet today she was having a response to it, and it was like an extra breath and a feeling of connectedness. And to the degree that she even mentioned it to the person that she was talking on the phone to, who laughed and said, that's really fun because there's a hawk flying over right where I am right now too. So it was, for them, it was about connectedness and about sharing and about letting yourself really enjoy something, even if it seems something that may or may not happen on a common basis. How am I moving with myself? what am I informing myself of? And then letting yourself know, because the other piece of that is you can look at what maybe have I been trying to open or to shift or to change or to, and not change because it needs to be corrected, change because maybe I've been limiting myself and I'd like to expand or be really more of who I am and more of who I am in the world. And so then you could look at those evidences of how might this be playing into that. And so evidence that we're talking about today as a tool is anything you have a response to, and it's such an extraordinary thing to know, isn't it? That in every moment of every day, you're being sent information to support you, to care for you, to collaborate with you, to encourage you, to inspire you, and to really cause an opportunity for you to come into connectivity with who you are as an extraordinary, valuable being, so that you can be that within your own self and that within the world. You can share it. And so have some fun, just noticing, wow, I'm having a response to that. It might be something somebody says to you. Maybe it bothers you, or maybe it thrills you. Remember not to make it about what was said or who said it. And instead, wow, I'm having a response to that. What am I letting myself know? What am I informing myself about? And key ingredient, let go of the against energy. Because against doesn't serve anything. It'll send you either against whatever is happening in some way, shape, or form, or against yourself. And instead with, wow, this evidence is such incredible recognition that spirit, that creator is always with us. That all of the universe, all the moving parts, we're all together. I'm having a response. It's about me. And not about me, and it's all about me. It's about me having the opportunity to expand into that which I truly am. Yes? And sometimes, by the way, your response is joy and thrill and wonder. And still, wow, I'm really having a joyful response. What am I informing myself of? And just feel, I'm letting myself have this, or I'm really engaged, or this is something that's inspiring. Maybe I need to think about this when I'm wondering what's important to me in my relationships or in my work or in my play. So it's one of those tools of creation. We're having fun sharing with you, and we're excited that some of you are even here with us live today. Yes? Be well, shine brightly, and share yourself. You're a gift. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.